If there is anything in this world that people question more than anything else, is the fate of humanity, and before that, our human origins. We are fortunate at this time to have access to a wealth of knowledge at our fingertips. Virtually any ancient text you can think of, you can get your hands on it. So many questions can be found simply by reading what is in a certain text. But sometimes we want a better understanding. We want more details. There are numerous religious congregations around the world. Some of these congregations are more historically based, with ancient texts, specific people and places. There are others that are more universal in their concept of creation and spirituality. On the far end of that, you have these cult followings, gatherings, communities of like-minded individuals who tend to adopt alternative doctrines and ways of life. There was a term used more often back in the day called New Age. Those of you who know what I'm talking about probably had a bunch of images pop into your head. Celtic is a word that probably came to mind because that's where it stems from, these old Celtic ways. Most of you watching right now speak English, right? There's a lot of Celtic influence on the English language. I would call it the ancient language of spells. There's something for you guys to go look into. That's why some of the words we use have a lot of power behind them. Now, with that said, we're going to take a look at something that is not that old, but it is certainly nothing new. And that is the Yuranshiya book, based on the Yuranshiya papers. According to the Yuranshiya Foundation's website, the Yuranshiya book portrays our relationship with God the Father. All human beings are the sons and daughters of a loving God and therefore brothers and sisters in the family of God. The book provides new spiritual truth for modern men and women and a pathway to a personal relationship with God. The Yuranshiya book is a 2,097-page book. Yeah, how many of you think I read that? Am I still going to talk about it? You bet I am. The home of Yuranshiya Foundation, 533 West Diversey Parkway, Chicago, Illinois, was built in 1908, prior to publication of the Yuranshiya book. The building was used for regular meetings of early readers of the transcripts. The entire estate was bequeathed to the Yuranshiya Foundation in 1969. Today it consists of offices, a basement for storage and shipping operations, a forum room for meetings and study groups, and 2 residential apartments. The book was published in 1955, and after that many congregations of this brotherhood were established in several places around the states. So, the book is divided into 4 parts. Part 1, the central and super universes, explores the design of the universe, how we are not alone in a highly organized universe of inhabited planets, with teachings of where God resides, the Trinity, and the origins of the universe. Part 2 is about the local universe. Part 2 describes in fascinating detail our local universe and its building blocks of constellations, systems, and many inhabited planets. It even maps out our location in the cosmos and where we go after we die. You will gain an appreciation for the administrative hierarchy and how Jesus fits into it. Part 3 is the history of Yuransha, which is another name for Earth. Now, according to this book, the Earth formed over 4.5 billion years ago, and the first two humans go far back as 993,500 years ago. Then from Adam and Eve to the stories of Abraham, Moses, etc. It is about the divinely guided evolutionary process of human life, the Lucifer rebellion, government, even how to worship and pray more effectively. Now I know you're thinking, what? Huh? What? Did something I say throw you off? Anyway, part 4 is about the life and teachings of Jesus. It has new and fresh information about the missing years of Jesus' life, his travels, his family, his ministries, the apostles, every year of his life leading up to his crucifixion and resurrection. Along with this book, or in this book, are what's called the 7 truths. 1, we are not alone. 2, God is a personal being. 3, the afterlife is real. 4, faith is the only requirement for eternal life. 5, a fragment of God lives within each of us. 6, Jesus reveals God. And 7, love is real and powerful. Now, there is no official author of this book. So anybody want to take a guess as to where the information in this book comes from? Yes, other ancient texts and revelators. Superhuman revelators. Actually, non-human superhuman revelators. And the book kind of tells you that when you open it up. Here it reads, The Life and Teachings of Jesus. This group of papers was sponsored by a commission of 12 Yuransha midwayers, acting under the supervision of a Melchizedek revelatory director. The basis of this narrative was supplied by a secondary midwayer who was one time assigned to the superhuman watch care of the Apostle Andrew. Even in the table of contents, look at what it has listed as contributing authors: the Divine Counselor, the Universal Censor, the Perfecter of Wisdom, the Mighty Messenger, the One High in Authority, the Divine Counselor, and one without name and number. What is with all the anonymity here? Who? What? I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to show you a section out of this book under the title 1, The Father's Name. Listen to this. Of all the names by which God the Father is known throughout the universes, those which designate him as the first source and the universe center are most often encountered. The first Father is known by various names in different universes and in different sectors of the same universe. The names which the creature assigns to the Creator are much dependent on the creature's concept of the Creator. The first source and universe center has never revealed himself by name, only by nature. If we believe that we are the children of this Creator, it is only natural that we should eventually call him Father. But this is the name of our own choosing, and it grows out of the recognition of our personal relationship with the first source and center. The Universal Father never imposes any form of arbitrary recognition, formal worship, or slavish service upon the intelligent willed creatures of the universes. The evolutionary inhabitants of the worlds of time and space must of themselves in their own hearts recognize, love, and voluntarily worship him. The Creator refuses to coerce or compel the submission of the spiritual free wills of his material creatures. The affectionate dedication of the human will to the doing of the Father's will is man's choicest gift to God. In fact, such a consecration of creature will constitute man's only possible gift of true value to the Paradise Father. In God, man lives, moves, and has his being. There is nothing which man can give to God except this choosing to abide by the Father's will, and such decisions, affected by the intelligent will creatures of the universes, constitute the reality of that true worship which is so satisfying to the love-dominated nature of the Creator Father. Now, how many of you understood what the freak I just said? And there's more. And you read through all this goobly glop to find out the Father's name is the Father. I mean, who wrote this? This is the same type of writing you get when you hear messages from the Galactic Council, or when people channel messages from Zeta Reticulan aliens, or the Book of Ra. Some of you know what I'm talking about. I think people can go a little too far in an attempt to sound enlightened or extra intelligent. Some of you may not know this, but there exists a 26-page document on the origins of the Yuransha book from the Yuransha Book Historical Society. Look at this section here. In the early years, the superhuman revelators were choosing the Human Contact Commission, testing the human subject to make sure he remained fortuitously unconcerned and getting the comprehension barometer into place. Once these folks were involved and following instructions from the superhuman revelators in 1934 and 1935, the Yuransha papers were materialized by a technique unknown to anyone, including the Contact Commission. Who directed who? The superhuman revelators directed the Human Contact Commission. We were told that the Revelatory Commission would be pleased. It was designed of our unseen friends. We were enjoined to refrain from, since we have been operating under orders from our unseen friends. For no human name, the superhuman revelators did not want any human name to be associated with the revelation. The superhuman revelators are determined that future generations shall have the book wholly free from all mortal connections. Hey, you guys want to know about the first humans? Well, according to this book, and the author, who was present at the time, calls them the twins, born of a primate. When about 9 years of age, they journeyed off down the river one bright day and held a momentous conference. Every celestial intelligence stationed on Yuransha, including myself, was present as an observer of the transactions of this noontide tryst. On this eventful day, they arrived at an understanding to live with and for each other, and this was the first of a series of such agreements which finally culminated in the decision to flee from their inferior animal associates and to journey northward, little knowing that they were thus to found the human race. Need I say more, folks? Need I say more? They actually found a way to mix the ideas of evolution and creation, and they are finally one. They took modern-day Darwinian evolutionary theories and mixed them with ancient theological writings. How many of you are smart? Is that a good idea? But it's got Jesus in it, Jay. You should give it a chance. It's good. It's for everybody. In the meantime, like the Trinity symbol, you have another Celtic symbol. They used the circle Trinity, which is just the Celtic triskel. Also the color blue. Are you guys starting to see the pattern here when I discuss symbolism and things of this nature? This stuff is not hard to spot. Call it what you want, but these are Wiccan, pagan, magic symbols, aside from their universal meanings. Do you get it? I've discussed the cross symbol before, remember? Publishers place these symbols on Bibles and people wear them, when in the Bible it says not to. When you get into this Yuranshiya stuff, it goes deeper than just a book. And you will run into some strong symbolism and ideas along the way. When you come across things like this, it is probably a good idea to pray and ask for guidance on this one. Because first and foremost, the authors don't want you to know who they are. But it all goes back to Egypt. There is more to come, everyone. Stay tuned. Make sure you all visit woodwardentertainment.com and the Woodward Entertainment store. Take care of each other. Cherish each other, especially in these days. Until next time, I'm Jay Woodward, reminding you all to stay awake, stay aware, stay safe, and I'll talk to you all soon.